Today's Girl Which Way show is brought to you by Swagger Magazine. Swagger Magazine and Media is a lifestyle, cultural empowerment magazine and media source, both online and print. This Black woman-led magazine has been making a splash for years and will no doubt continue to do so. Visit them at swaggeronline.com and make sure you tell them that Girl Which Way sent you. Hello and welcome to the Girl Which Way show. The show that exists because life is a journey, but you still need direction. Grab your tribe and get ready because each episode will be talking about our real life issues, answering questions, and building solid relationships with one another as we heal and learn. Now, you know I'm your host, your girl, Shalia Vinny, and today's show is about one of the biggest reasons relationships don't work these days, cheating. Let's get into it. So let's get real. Every single week, I get multiple emails and messages about one topic. It's always questions, heartfelt letters, sadness, and anger. It's about the ultimate betrayal, cheating. Most of you have been cheated on, some of you have been the cheater, and some of you are just looking to prevent being cheated on. It's hurtful and personal. It's embarrassing, and it leaves us scarred and with unanswered questions. No doubt about it, cheating sucks for all parties involved, and I can tell you this firsthand. Let's talk more about this. The number one question I get from both men and women is the issue of cheating. Men and women both want to know if your relationship can survive infidelity, and if so, how do you get past it and find trust and happiness again? Men want to know if she can forgive them and get past it. Women want to know if it's a mistake to stay when this person, happens to be the person that they love. And if they do stay, will they take them for granted and become a serial cheater because of it? They don't want to feel stupid. Both want to know if it's worth it. Contrary to popular belief, not everyone leaves after this happens, nor do they want to. For some people, cheating is the biggest deal breaker, and if they find out this happened, they'll just walk away immediately and never look back. Then there are others who attempt to work it out and try to salvage their relationship. Whichever one you are, I respect your decision, and I don't think we should judge either decision because everyone's situation is different, and you never know why someone chose to leave or to stay. What works for one may not work for others. Where do I stand in all of this? Well, y'all know that I will never tell you anything I don't know firsthand, and I'm always as transparent as possible with you guys. I have never been the cheater, but I have been the cheated on. I have been the victim, and I've seen firsthand what it does to your self-esteem, your relationship, and life as you both know it. I have cried till my eyes were dry and done the work, and I learned so much. I will tell you what I know in the hopes that it may help someone. Because people always think that when I say that my husband and I have been together for 20 years, that it's been all beautiful and roses the entire time. And that's BS. I mean, it's really quite the contrary. I've spoken about this in 2 of my books, and I'll let you guys know too. Because before we got happily ever after, it was definitely selfish ever after, broke ever after, lie ever after, cheat ever after, and then some. But there were always good times too. We have always loved each other no matter what happened in our lives. In fact, that was part of the problem, and I know some of you can relate. I mean, there you are, putting in the effort, being all loving, sexing them on the regular without them even having to ask you, cooking, cleaning, being sexy, just being happy, or so you think. Then you feel blindsided because out of nowhere you find out this person has been unfaithful to you. We always hear people talk about the breakdown of the relationship that leads to the cheating, but no one talks about when it's all good. Like there are no signs from your spouse. Like your sex life is great, you're doing tricks inside and outside of the bedroom, and they still look out in the streets. It's devastating. I mean, this is what happened to me. I couldn't understand and it broke me. Like literally left me shattered. I didn't deserve it, and both of us knew it. I mean, it did a number to my self-esteem. I was feeling unattractive and like a failure. I started questioning myself. Like, is it me? I mean, I thought about every possible scenario. What could I have done differently? Why didn't he choose me? Is he bored? Am I not enough? Why her? What did she do to him? What did he do to her? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, the list of what ifs and possibilities haunted me and plagued my mind. I could not get past the hurt. I mean, we've separated. I've gone to the courts looking to get divorced. We have had some hard times. It's especially difficult when the person you love the most also hurts you the most, and there's not much you can do to stop the bleeding inside of your own heart. This is the moment to make a decision. Do you leave or do you stay? Is it worth it? Does this make you a doormat for staying? Are you stupid for loving them still deep down inside of your heart? Meanwhile, the person who did the cheating is also dealing with the collateral damage of, I hurt my person. How do we repair this? Is my person going to be able to look at me the same way ever again? Is the trust too irreparably broken? Should we just call it quits? Have I messed up everything that matters to me, being selfish and self-serving? How do I get back to a place of love? I mean, can anybody out there relate? Because I've had friends that have left their husbands, and most of them regret it later, as do the husbands. They both realized they wanted to be with each other and wanted their families above all else, but they acted out of a place of hurt and pain and ego. I also have clients who have left, and it's the best thing that ever happened to them, and they never look back. But their cheating spouses always try to come back too. So how do you know what's best for you, and how did I know what was best for me? I am so glad that you asked this question. Today's Girl Which Way show is brought to you by Swagger Magazine. Swagger Magazine and Media is a lifestyle, cultural empowerment magazine and media source, both online and print. This Black woman-led magazine has been making a splash for years and will no doubt continue to do so. Visit them at swaggeronline.com and make sure you tell them that Girl Which Way sent you. So we've been talking about cheating and how it affects the entire relationship. When your mind is full of pain, anger, and hurt, it can be hard to cope and deal, but still you must. You must decide your next move. If you want to stay or go depends on this. How well do you know your spouse? Let me explain. I know my spouse. I'm in tune with his very heartbeat. I can feel him on the deepest level. I know when he's feeding me bullshit. I know when he's being truthful. I know when he's truly sorry. I know him. To be clear, he doesn't really lie to me. We have always had difficult conversations, no matter what. I don't care what he's done. He will tell me. Now, he might not offer the information readily, but if I want to talk about it, he will tell me more truth sometimes than my feelings can handle. He's always looked at me with eyes that see right through me. He's always been willing to give me his last or his first. He's always spoiled me. Even when he didn't have it like that, he would always try. He's always shown up for me. He's always been there for me through good times and bad times. I can't really deny any of that. We have never had a toxic relationship or hated each other because we're actually really good friends. I don't think that will ever change. So when I say I know him and how he moves and thinks and acts. I feel his emotions. I used to believe that if a man loves you, he would never cheat on you. But now I'm not really sure because there's no question that he loves me and that he'd give his life for me. There's nothing he won't do for me. But still, he dishonored me. Even though I love him or he loves me, he dishonored me and it almost destroyed us. But this is how we actually made it through. I took my time to deal with how I felt and we didn't rush it. He apologized and said he meant it, but I wanted proof. Show me. Love is not what you say. It's always going to be what you do. If you say this is what you want, then what are you going to do differently? Talk is so cheap. You know how you have that issue with your spouse about where they go or some bad habit or whatever it is that brings you, the red flags. Are they willing to stop that? They will if they're serious. We talked about it. All of my questions and concerns we talked about. I prayed by myself and with him. I didn't tell anyone what we were dealing with. I watched them and took it one day at a time. It was more like, let's take this one day at a time. I sought counsel from my pastor, and his words really helped me tremendously because I really wanted to know, can we get past this? And his words changed everything for me, so I want to share them with you. He said, although divorce because of sexual immorality is an option, it's not God's ideal situation. God can heal anything, but it will take work on both of your parts. If he expresses true regret, remorse, and contrition, and does the necessary work and it's visible before you, you've made the right decision by fighting for your marriage. These words were everything, and he was right. This is what I meant when I said staying isn't for everyone. You know your spouse. If he or she doesn't care at all, shows no remorse, no empathy, and is like, you know what, get over it so I can continue to hurt you, this is probably not worth salvaging. But do you see the change? Do you see your spouse putting in effort to rectify their actions? Not a temporary thing, because sometimes they change just long enough just to get you to shut up and then they're back to the BS. No. This is going to feel differently than what they've shown you in the past, and only you will know, because then you'll know what to do. But whatever you decide, you need to feel good about it no matter what, because no matter what anyone thinks or feels, it is your life and it is your decision, and you don't owe anyone an explanation. So if you are someone that has been cheated on, I want to share 5 things with you to help you to get through it. You know what? Make that 6. I'm going to add one more thing. So number 1, please understand that it's not your fault. Stop blaming yourself. It has nothing to do with you. This is often the number one thing that happens in our minds, and we really lose it because of this. You know, it's like, what could I have done differently? Maybe I didn't do enough. I should have, I could have, I would have. Their cheating is their choice, and it's not anything you could have done differently. It has nothing to do with you. Number 2, stop comparing yourself. Some of you have seen the other person and you're disgusted and hurt about it because the other person is just not as attractive as you. Or you feel like you knew what their type was, but clearly that wasn't true because what were they doing with this person? You feel really violated because at least if the person looks better than you or you felt they were better in some way, you might understand a little bit more. But this has left you an emotional wreck because you're attractive and you truly love the person and you don't understand why they would risk everything for this. Number 3, stop imagining. Here you are imagining what happened between them, and you're thinking about what they said to each other, what they did to each other, the moans, the groans. You're sick in your headspace because you're so connected to your spouse that you can imagine how everything went down, and it breaks your heart. Stop doing that. Number 4, stop running to everyone to vent about your feelings. I know you're hurt, but you need time to sit in your feelings and understand them. Running to social media, friends, family, etc. is a bad idea. Too many hands in the cookie jar is not good because everyone's going to put their ideas, feelings, and suggestions on you, and they're going to tell you how you need to move and how you should respond. But you need to know how you feel without the distractions, without any issues, because they're going to judge you in their relationship no matter what. And then they're going to kill whatever you have left inside of you. Pro tip. Be careful because they'll have you bitter and have their bitterness rub off on you. And that's never going to be okay. Number 5, talk about it and get closure. You need this. Damn what your partner feels. They caused the hurt and they need to allow you the space to get the closure you need. If you want to stay or leave, it doesn't even matter, but you deserve to get the closure that you need. We often get silenced and left to deal with our hurt on our own because the cheater may not want to own up to what they've done, or they don't want to discuss it because they don't want you to keep dwelling on it or bringing it up. Often the cheater will admit what happened and give you what feels like a deadline to get over it. And it's not fair because as you unpack the situation, there are going to be questions and feelings that linger that you're not over. But when these feelings arise, you end up dealing with them on your own and harboring resentment because you're afraid that if you bring it up, the cheater's going to get mad at you or go off. And this is not fair. They made their bed and laid in it with someone else, and you have the right to get the answers you need. Number 6, stop trying to change them or force their loyalty. People are going to change when they want to change. Nothing you can do about it, plain and simple. People can and do change, but only when they're good and ready to. They're never going to change because you spoke scriptures over them or you sent them social media videos or similar situations to quote unquote think about, or you shoot them hints or suggestions. No, they're going to change when they want to. You just need to be paying attention so that you know what to do next. As I've said before, It is possible to be in love fuller and stronger than you were before. It just takes a lot of work to rebuild that trust, and it's not easy. If you're the cheater, allow your spouse the grace to feel and heal. Don't rush them or make it seem like they should be over it by now. You don't get to control how they grieve and tell them when they should get over it. If you can't honor their feelings, then perhaps you should check out. If you plan on staying, you'll need to own your part however it presents itself. And to those who were cheated on, pull the scab off the wound if you need to, but using it as leverage every time you're hurt is not good for the relationship. You know what you're doing, and it's doing more harm than good. If you forgive them, you're actually going to have to forgive them. This is period and simple. You're going to have to allow them the chance to fix it. You can't be triggered by every little thing and use it as an excuse to go off and blow up. It's not fair either. I understand your trust has been broken, but you either need to make the decision that you're going to see things change for the better, or you won't. You need to decide. When you find someone who loves and honors you and wants the best for you, you'd be a fool to mess that up for quick pleasure. If you can't control your urges, then perhaps you should stay single, because hurting the one person who simply desired to love you for you is hurting yourself. You have to figure out what's really important in this life. Sex is everywhere, but loyalty, true love, and really having somebody that understands you is rare. And you won't know what you had until it's gone sometimes. Please think before you act. I'm out of here. I love you guys. Today's show was brought to you by Swagger Magazine. Please rate the show on your favorite streaming platform, share it with one person who you think needs to hear it, and ask them to do the same. Remember, good, better, best. Never let it rest. To your good is better, and your better is best. Until next time, your friend and motivator, Shalia. Bye.